What's up to all my pimps and players out there? Hope you're having a good day today. I wanted to go over an apartment complex that I recently washed back in May, just getting around to posting it, the breakdown, and how much I made. So I'm going to go over just a few topics: how I landed the job, do's and don'ts when doing a commercial properties, how much I made, and how much I should have charged. So this was the apartment complex. I did all of the buildings. There was 12 of them total. Three of the buildings actually had three breezeways in them. So I didn't thinking it being like 26 or 28 breezeways. And obviously they're 3 stories. And then I did the barbecue area, all the pool furniture, and then back over here was a gazebo and like a dog park area I cleaned as well. So, and then they actually had me do the front entrance here, all of the concrete work here up front, and then I did all the windows around the entire clubhouse slash fitness room area. So this is just to give you an idea of what the breezeways looked like. Not all of them were this bad, and they were pretty easy to clean. I would start at the top, third floor, and just work my way down. And I just used chlorine, SH, whatever you want to call it, and just diluted it with the pump up sprayer. I do have a soft wash setup, but it was just too many hoses running around, and these were double-sided breezeways, so I just felt it was a lot of hose to be out and about for people to trip on, and I go through a lot more chemical with my soft wash. At least with the pump up sprayer, I was a little more in control of it. So here's the invoice. This is what I sent them as the final. And this is how I break down my invoices. This is just something I do. I'm sure we all do something a little different. But I counted 81 total breezeways. That was counting each of them, 1, 2, 3 per story. And I charged 92 a breezeway. And this is where I felt I undercharged myself, because it wasn't just the walking path. It was the stairwells on both sides, 2 walls on the outside of the building. So like right here, I know I don't have a good picture of it, but I had to do the walls on the inside, the outside, on each side of the building. Not the middle of the breezeways, because the middle was straight drywall, so I didn't spray in here. It was just spraying out and then down and then spraying all the stairs. That's where I felt I didn't charge enough, because that was a lot of work. Mainly prep work more than actual washing. So, and then I did all the windows. There was 90 of them. I've heard different things in the window industry world of what to charge, $10 to $15 a window. I definitely should have went up a couple dollars here per window. These weren't just like your average residential house windows. I mean, I had to have a pole to be able to even clean them, like an extension pole. And then furniture pieces, there was 140 total. I only charged them for 100. Shame on me. I should have left it at full price or full count. And they were really easy to clean. Mainly just removing the mold off of them. A lot of the pool furniture had like stains from oils and sunscreens, and that's where we should have been more clear with the client or customer about that, because they're like, well, you didn't get all the stains out. And I was like, yeah, those, I was just removing and cleaning the mold. That was just me cleaning them. If you wanted that done, it would have been a different price, because I'm using different chemicals, but also I didn't want to burn the chairs up with degreaser. So, but that's what I charge. I should have left this at 140. I cut them a deal there for some reason. And then all the concrete work that I did, definitely should have went up here, because the front of this complex, fun facts for those of you that don't know, this concrete was only a year and a half old. I had to wand or gun this whole thing. They wanted the whole front entrance done, and it looked really good. Don't get me wrong. It was very time consuming. That was the most I've ever used my gun, my pressure gun. Keep in mind, again, it's my first job, first apartment job where I've had to really use my wand that much. Normally I just use a surface cleaner when I'm doing residential. So I should have accounted for that way more, because I could not put my surface cleaner on it. So this should have been closer to like 15 or even 20 cents, maybe even a little more, because of that. But I didn't know that in the beginning when I'm doing it. I'm like, it's not going to take that long with the wand. No, it did. So shame on me there. So here is a quick breakdown of how I broke it down, of what I made off the job, like my net. So basic expenses, added extra cost, and then I'll go through this in a second. So here's some do's and don'ts before I go through this. So I started the job April 29th, which was a Monday. I tried to cowboy it myself and ended up having to get my wife to come out that Friday to help me get caught back up for the breezeways. And shame on me, I should have factored in having a helper / employee. So from the rest of the time on, the 6th until we finished the job, which was the 23rd of May, I had a helper with me. Thank goodness. I should have never thought I could do that by myself. That was crazy. Learning experience. So really, it only took me 16 business days, but the reason it was such a long spread, the 29th to the 23rd, is this is where I don't recommend doing this. I was up front with them that I had some vacation vacation planned. I had a friend get married on the 10th that weekend, and then I'm also a licensed real estate agent here in Florida. So I had a real estate closing deal on the 13th, and it was an afternoon closing. I was there most of the day at the complex, but I did have to leave early to get ready. Like, I'm not going to show up in my pressure washing clothes that are bleached out. I wanted to go home and look professional for my real estate closing deal that Monday. And then I had a family vacation planned the 17th through the 20th. And then the last 3 days here is when I finished the job. So even though I was upfront with them and I was very clear and actually put it in writing in an email, when it came time, they were not happy that I had to take off. And I get it. They have to let the tenants know that, I'm not going to be in that building. Well, what I think was happening was they just assumed I was going to be there on those days when I told them I wasn't. And they were telling the tenants that I was going to be in their building that day when in reality I wasn't. These are vacations or family stuff I had planned almost a year in advance that I couldn't move around. It wasn't like a doctor's appointment. I would have easily rescheduled that. No, these were stuff that were concrete and stone. So that is one of the don'ts. I don't recommend, if you're going to do this job, you need to make sure you are wide open to do a job like this. So just wanted to throw out that right there. Added extra cost. I didn't get a water pole fed system. Their windows were practically brand new still in the building. So there wasn't really any hard water stains or anything like that. So I just went to Lowe's, and they actually have a decent window washing section. I'm not saying it's the best quality product, but for what I needed it for in a pinch, it worked really well. I bought basically everything you could think of. I bought 2 poles, a cobweb thing, a scrubber, a squeegee, soap bucket, microfiber towels, and it cost me about $160. There might have been a few other things I got for the job while I was at the store that day, but whatever. I ended up blowing a hose. Found out you can't be pulling on the hoses too hard around corners and stuff. I pulled it right out of where it connects to the gun. So that cost me $90. And if you're going with a larger apartment complex, a lot of them I find make you sign up and basically your compliance. So they checked my truck insurance. I end up having to up that a little bit, which I'm okay with that. I didn't factor that cost in here because I'll do that. I'll just keep it where it is. I think it was 100, 300, 100,000. As far as vehicle coverage goes. And then they wanted to check my workman's comp and basically just general liability insurance to make sure I met their standards for insurance. Well, I don't have any employees, and I told them that, and I asked them, I said, is that possible to get that waived? And they were cool with it. They waived it, but they still, in the beginning I told them I wasn't going to have a helper. Well, they were okay with it. After the first week, because they knew I was falling behind a little bit. So something to think about. That was $100. And then they have another platform. It's called Ops Merchant. Basically, invoicing fee was $45. I got 10 invoices for that. And that's how I was able to submit the invoice to get paid. It was super smooth process. The platform was nice and all, but it cost me about $145, $150 just to be able to step on property and do work for them. And fun facts, who knew caution cones and caution tape were so damn expensive, man? I spent $80 just on cones and caution tape. I don't know, I threw that in there. I thought that was funny. And then this is how I landed the job. So I joined the local apartment association, and people were probably like, "You're giving out all the secrets." No, it's no secret, man. You do your homework. Go out there, and you want to hustle. You want to go knock on doors and earn business. By all means, like I'll take some competition on that. But this is how I landed the job. And you don't necessarily have to join the apartment association. You can just walk in there and hit them up, right? But I did, and this is how I landed this job. So prorated, I started in April. It's $372 a year. I went. They had a cocktail mixer one Thursday afternoon for the month of April. It cost me $31 to hand my business card to a gentleman who manages 16 properties in the city I live in. So was it worth it? Hell yeah, it was worth it. Waited around to talk to the guy. I'd never met him, didn't know who he was, but I handed him my card. He told me to go check out one of his properties. He needed a pressure washing quote, and bam, it worked out. A couple weeks later, I'm washing, right? So that is how I landed this job, is going to a cocktail mixer, got some food out of it and a couple cocktails, and landed the job. So back to it. Total expenses, $1944. That's just these right here. So my gross is what I made, kinda gross. So I gross minus expenses. That'll give me my net. And then we all got to pay the man, right? We really dislike him, and I'll probably be able to write a lot of this off throughout the year. But for now, I like to take, good rule of thumb, 20% out in taxes off of my net right here. I am not a CPA. You don't have to take my advice. I'm not gonna hurt my feelings. But I put this money in a savings account, and I do not touch it until I file my taxes the following year. And the reason for that is I look at it as like a nice little added bonus when I don't have to pay that money in, and I see that money sitting in my savings account. That is like either a bonus for me. I can invest it in something. I can buy stock. I mean, whatever you decide to do with that extra money that you didn't have to pay the man, that's up to you. So expenses plus taxes, I was at $36.49. So I took this number right here and subtracted it from the gross, which gave me a grand total of $68.21 is what I got in my pocket at the end of the day. So this is where I break down, and I know I didn't charge enough, but this was my first job. So huge learning curve. 16 days is what it took me. I was there 8-hour days, 8:30 to 4:30 roughly, because anytime after 4:30 in the apartment complex, it just got nuts with the amount of people coming home from work. So I really hustled to be off property by 4:30. There was a couple days I stayed later, mainly just to try to get caught back up. But I don't recommend doing that if you don't have to, because I stayed till like 6 or 7 a couple nights during the days I was there just to get caught up. But it was so busy. FedEx, UPS, trash man. There's so many people coming in and out throughout the day. It's nuts. But anyways, in reality, if I broke it down per hour, $53 an hour, which isn't terrible, I guess. But I've heard in the industry $125 is my minimum to show up, or $200 an hour. I've even heard someone say $300 an hour. And I'm just like, okay, that seems a little extreme. But hey, man, maybe you got more expenses than me. I don't know. So this is what I made off of the job. That was the gross. So I guess let's break it down. There's a little math right here. Very simple, basic math. So now that I know what I know, I could walk into another apartment complex like this and say, I know how long it's going to take me. I need one helper, because my helper didn't start the first week. He actually started the 6th. This first week I tried to cowboy it up. I think I mentioned it, and if I didn't. So he didn't even start till the 6th. And if he would have been here the first week until we finished, I might have finished a little earlier, yes, but I've also would have been paying him probably closer to $1,500, maybe a little more. But I gave him $18 an hour, and I just called him my helper employee. He didn't wash. He mainly helped me move hoses, put up caution tape, the breezeways, and spray some chemical. And I mean, really, that was about it. I don't know what y'all charge your helpers, but drop a comment below. You know, I guess it depends on the level of their skill and what they do. So, but now if I would have walked on this property, let's just do a quick math. So 16 days times 8-hour days, and I would have been at least at a minimum of $100 an hour. I feel like that should have been my minimum right there starting point of how much I should have grossed off of this job. Because in reality, I would have had to pay my helper probably more money. And then we'll factor in these expenses. We'll say, we'll just leave it at 1,900, rough numbers here. So 9,400 bucks. And then if I would have had to pay the man's money, let's just say I took out 1,500 instead of 1,800. I would have made 7,900 versus 6,821. So I would have made an extra $1,000 by charging more money. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm happy and I'm not trying to be greedy here, but I definitely felt like I earned an extra $1,000 on that job after doing the breezeways, caution tape, wanding all of the front entrance area, all the pool furniture. I had to pay insurance on top of that, general liability insurance for a month. You know, just a lot of added little costs there that you sometimes maybe we forget about. But yeah, so if I would have charged more, we might have got done a little faster. I might have paid him a little less, maybe gave him a bonus at the end of the job because he did a great job helping me finish this project. Yeah, I would have only made an additional $1,000. Would that have been worth it? Hell yeah, that would have been worth it. So, but anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video and you got some out of this. And the reason for posting this, and before I started this, I told myself if I did start this business, I wouldn't be vague in my videos because it pissed me off so bad watching other like big dogs out in the YouTube world. Watch till the end and I'll tell you my secrets and I'll tell you how much I made off that job. Well, you watch till the end and it's like and subscribe. And oh yeah, if you want to know how much I made off this video, you got to submit this. You got to pay me per hour. Like, I don't care, man. Like, I'm not trying to make money off you. I'm just trying to help you grow your business. And maybe you can learn something off of this and be like, well, damn, now I know how much roughly I'm going to make off of an apartment wash of that size. Now, if I walked into a small mom and pop, side note tangent here, a small mom and pop, they probably would have laughed at me if I would have sent them this, you know. But this was a big dog, mega apartment complex. They own 16 just in the city alone that I own, and they all are very identical to this. Some of them are larger, some of them are smaller, some of them are on the riverfront, and they're like 20 stories. I obviously wouldn't want to tackle that one. Just I don't have the equipment for something like that, but this I do. So something to think about. Hope you got something out of the video. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for watching.